poggers.
Are we all right now?
We're all right. We're all right. We're not very good. We're all right. Podcast going. How are you doing, Mr. Fashionable, with your fashionable clothes that we talked about last podcast?
I am fucking knackered.
You fucking poggers. Am I right?
Absolutely shattered.
Why?
A stupid fat bastard. I've been at work all day. I've just been at work and
You've been working. Who does that? Hopefully me soon.
Yeah, it's been a tiring one today. It's not been hard. It's just been tiring.
With your fucking manual labour and all that.
Yeah.
Well, look. I've been having a job interview, as you know, so I'm dressed all job interview like. You're dressed all fashionable. We've got an e-girl guest on the podcast again for a brief moment, Judd, because I've invented a segment that I've actually got something we can do today. But first, breaking news. Don't worry, it's not coronavirus news this time. It's beer is very cheap news. Judd, making that...
Yes! Yes!
Everyone likes that news much better. Judd, get yourself to Asda. I know it's Budweiser, which isn't the best beer.
Jake, I've already been.
Yeah. Hey! No, but at Asda, right, 24 bottles of Budweiser for £14.
Jesus Christ.
Tell me that's not a good offer. Right, okay, now that we've got that exciting news out of the way that I'm sure everyone wanted to know about. We watched me and Jasmine here, e-girl here, do an e-girl thing that one of them would do, a noise thing, because not the face, not the Belle Delphine face.
They do noise. They always do noises.
What's
you know what? I hate women.
Oh my god, Judd, can you give Jasmine an example of like a noise that an e-girl would make so everyone knows?
I refuse.
What's a noise they would do, Judd?
Oh, they'd go like nyar or something.
Why don't you say raw XD like in a cute voice, and everyone will know how e-girl you're doing.
Done.
I'm glad you're refusing. Do you want to at least say hello or something so people don't think I'm pretending? She's not. She's not doing it.
She's done you.
I don't exist.
Right, so what we're going to do is, Judd, I've got, on this podcast today, I've got a bunch of questions. We're going to do Who Knows Me Better, my deadbeat, shitty, fatty fat beard brother, or my e-girl beautiful e-girl girl.
My e-girl beautiful. That's gonna be your next song.
That's a great song. My e-girl beautiful. That's a right song title. Right. Okay, so I've quickly, in true podcast badly fashion, I've not really prepared for this very well. I should have made some good questions, but instead I just Googled it 30 seconds before I decided we were going to do this. So I'll go down this list, and we can see, like, what the questions are and that sort of thing. So first question is, what is my middle name? And I'm gonna go to Judd first. What's my middle name?
Humphrey.
Right. Okay, Jasmine. What do you think my middle name is?
James.
Well, guess what, Judd? You're fecking wrong, aren't you? That's all a joke.
No, I'm right. It's Humphrey.
It is not right, Judd. You are quite a pleb.
It's Humphrey.
What's my zodiac sign? Jasmine, what's my zodiac sign?
Pisces.
Judd, what's my zodiac sign?
I'm gonna say it's like a light purple. A light purple, not like a dark purple, a light one.
Do you know what? I'm going to give it to Judd because the word zodiac would be purple. Even though Jasmine's actually correct, I just want to give it to Judd and I can.
Fair enough, can't argue.
What's my mother's maiden name? I don't think I should be... Is this a phishing scam? Is this like trying to figure out all my security questions on websites?
What are the three numbers on the back of your credit card?
Yeah, another one is what was the name of my elementary school? This is totally trying to hack my accounts. Right, okay. I'm just searching through these to find one that would work. Right, okay. Did I have a favourite restaurant as a child? Judd.
I want to say and this probably isn't right, but I want to say that your favourite place to go was to Pizza Hut with me and Dad when we used to play sword fight outside.
Ooh,
I don't
that's
think
a good
that's right,
call.
though.
It's a good call. Let's see if Jasmine can come up with a better answer.
No. I don't think you did have a favourite restaurant as a child.
Well, that's boring. I'm going with Pizza Hut and beat up Judd. I like that. Okay. Let's keep going. Am I more like my mother or my father? Why don't you both answer? Just do it right now, because I think that's quite obvious.
Your
Mother.
mother.
Yes. Fuck our dad, am I right? Even when we did that podcast with our dad. Oh my god. Speaking of our dad, Judd, I borrowed a power saw from our dad recently.
no.
What do you think of that?
I'm not.
Do you know why?
There was a time when I believed that you with a power saw would be like less scary than me with a power saw, but I believe in myself a lot more now, and also I think you're just a bit of a retard. So
Hold on. I'm trying to look through these.
it's good material.
Very good material. Right. I'll just read this before I've even read it. What is my most favourite thing about my childhood? Jasmine.
Jesus.
What do you think it is?
Going to Sweden.
Okay. Judd?
You weren't completely numb to everything, so you could still feel excitement and joy.
Yeah, Judd's got it, actually. Do you know the main reason? I didn't even go to Sweden when I was a child. I was like 19. Okay. Okay. Hold on. One sec. Who was my celebrity crush when I was growing up? Judd.
Jesus. You used to never shut the fuck up about Eminem, so I'm gonna say Eminem.
Okay, Jasmine.
Eminem's the one. No, I'm gonna say like Emma Watson.
Emma Watson probably was my first real life crush. However, my first crush when I was a child was The Little Mermaid. So either of those answers would have probably worked.
To be fair, mine was Ursula, so pretty close.
It makes a lot of sense.
I just like a big bitch.
I thought you were just gonna say I'm just only into sea witches.
Yeah.
What was the name of my first pet? Let's do it. Jasmine, go.
I don't know, but didn't you like have a pet rock at some point?
Well, that is quite in character for me, but funnily enough, no, actually. Judd. Jasmine's going with pet rock. I'm not even taking an actual answer.
I want to say, I don't know because I might have been too young to remember if you had a different pet, but I'd say that maybe Ty when we had that dog Ty at Dad's.
No, but there is a very good story about Ty that we can tell after I give you the correct answer. It's kind of a trick question. I had two pets at the same time. I got two goldfish called Fred and George after them fucking gingers on that fucking Potter show.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to tell the story of when one of our friends Luke first met our dog Ty?
I can't really remember it. I vaguely remember it, but just he came over. This is Luke with the hairy knob, by the way, who was in the other episode with his dad.
If you watch the episode we did called "Our Dad Is Bad," then if you've not seen that, you can go back and watch that after this. But he was mentioned in a really funny story in that episode.
And fucking, I don't know why, but Luke came over and we had this dog Ty. And what was Ty?
He was a staffy.
Yeah,
I think he was like a staffy boxer cross.
Yeah, so he was. I want to say he looked like an aggressive dog, but he wasn't at all. He just looked like the type that could be.
Yeah, he looked a bit hench, and he looked like he was a bit short though for one of them dogs. So he was kind of short, kind of hench, but not very. And he was just like so nice and friendly and playful.
He was lovely. He was a really lovely dog. And Luke came over, and he just fucking demolished his shoes. Like immediately he saw him. And just went for his shoes and started going, like proper biting him.
Judd, hold on. There we go.
That's nice.
You have to do it in the
Yeah.
microphone.
Oh,
Go on.
go on.
Go on. Go on. Go on.
Go on.
What's up? What's up? What's the
Go on, do
matter? What? Do what?
Go
I
on.
did it. I did it. I already did it. Just do it then.
Do it.
What? What's
What?
happening here? Okay, I'm just going to continue the story because Judge malfunctioned. So
Yeah.
what actually happened was, it was not long after we'd got Ty. It was my dad had got the dog, and he'd had it for like 4 days or so, and then it was the weekend that we'd came and sort of first met him, really. So we had a couple of friends at that age. What would we be, like 14 I would be, and you'd be about 12?
Yeah.
And then this Luke guy was like 15, and we had another friend, Connor, who was 13. So we invited Connor around first because he was right next door, and he was fine because he had a dog and that sort of thing. Whereas Luke, who was 15, was a proper like bubble boy level nerd, and
Yeah.
he sorry, that's so gross. He came over and he didn't know that this dog was gonna be there, and as soon as he saw him he was like, and he was scared of him. And Ty came running right up to him because it was a new person, and he was like coming up to him to be
Yeah.
like, oh look, new friend, and like not to do anything to him.
Yeah.
But he like immediately went, and kept running away from him, and he was terrified, and he kept running after him.
I can't remember this. I can't remember any of this. So.
It was literally, this dog was chasing our friend called Luke around the garden, just in circles, and he kept running away from him constantly. We were like, Luke, just stop moving, and this dog will just like lick you a bit and then be happy with you. And he wouldn't. He was terrified, and he ran home. It was hilarious. It was so good. Anyway, right. What was my favourite TV show as a child? Jasmine, guess first.
I don't
Okay,
know.
one.
Something nerdy like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Something nerdy like
That's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
a good one, that
It's
actually.
quite a good one. Judd, what do you think?
Something nerdy like Dragon Ball Z.
I have to say, as a kid, I would have enjoyed Dragon Ball Z more than Yu-Gi-Oh! So, unfortunately, Jasmine is the big loser person today.
Thank you.
Boo! Everyone go boo!
Boo!
It's weird how this
do.
person who didn't grow up with you got more questions wrong about your childhood.
Yeah, that does make sense, actually. Speaking of Jasmine being strange, we were playing Stanley Parable recently. You've played Stanley Parable, haven't you?
I've not, but I remember watching it back when Markiplier played it.
But you've seen like all the endings and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I know it.
So for the people who don't know, so the Stanley Parable is a very basic game where all you can do is walk around, essentially. You can interact with things, but like it's very basic, the movements and that. And it's, hold on a sec, DVD Luke's hopping off. You listen to it all on Spotify and it's ready. No problem, sir. Thanks for stopping by. We'll continue without you if Jasmine doesn't bash my earphones into oblivion. But yeah, so Stanley Parable is a game where it's basically all story-based. It's all just interesting to see how the story works. If you don't know what it is, look it up. But it's really cool. There's a narrator to it who you just basically sort of, I don't know, see what crazy antics happen. And there's this one ending where you kind of are supposed to get crushed or something, but it puts you into like this like Stanley Parable museum within the game, where it just shows you all the assets they've used and that sort of thing, and just tells you a bit about the game. And I've been going through the endings with Jasmine because she's not a big gamer person, but it's like quite a good game for people who aren't gamers. And when we got to this museum ending, she was fucking freaking out. Like it was the best thing she'd ever seen. It was, she was going, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm in a museum. Which I just thought was so cute, because it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. I'm just trying to show you a bunch of really cool games with like awesome effects and that and everything that's happened, and you're like, wow, plain museum.
I love to imagine getting to the bit on Modern Warfare 2 where you can go into that little museum bit where it's like all the enemy types and characters and stuff, and it'd just be like, oh my god!
A museum! My wildest dreams have come true! Oh, Horace has fallen. But anyway, yeah, I just thought that was good. Yeah, so that's been our special guest, Yasmin. Sorry,
Thank you all.
Jasmine.
Thank you all.
Thanks for joining. Have you got any thing you would want to shout out on this podcast that half a person watches?
No.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah,
Okay.
see you later.
Right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Judd, now you say something. Tell me something. Give me some podcast content.
I went to a Chinese shop earlier.
Hold on.
Ooh,
I was
scary.
I was going to. The whole point of me asking you to say something then was so that I could get up and shut my door properly while you just talk on the podcast. Now I daren't, because I don't trust you to say something reasonable on the podcast.
I'm not gonna be racist, I promise. Just go shut the door.
That is not a good sign. I'm going to shut the door. I'm trusting you
Go
here.
shut the door.
Right,
Go
okay.
shut the door. So about those Chinese. No, I'm kidding. No, I went into this Chinese shop. It was like
Is this
it's
Chinese food shop?
No, well, yeah, actually, yeah, but it wasn't. It's just like a little Chinese supermarket. It's not like a Chinese restaurant.
Oh yeah, not like a takeaway or anything. Just
No, so it had like most of the products were Chinese products. I just went in for like 2 cans of Pepsi.
yeah.
Just because I was gonna walk to Sainsbury's, but that was closer. And obviously, because I work on a building site, if I would have been working with anybody, they would have immediately gone, "What? You're gonna go into that Chinese shop? You want to get Corona with your Pepsi?"
Yeah, they would have said that. They would have.
Something like that. So I was on my own, so I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna get in here, it's closer." So I went inside. There was like a couple cans of Pepsi, which one can of Pepsi was 69 pence.
That is the funny number.
For York, it's like fairly cheap. Like in probably
Yeah, I suppose.
it'd be like 80 or 90 or maybe even a quid if you got them from like a little food vending thing. And
Yep.
so I went to this. I went up to the counter where the guy was serving people, and I very quickly learned that he could speak English, but he'd obviously learnt his English in America.
Oh,
Because he spoke.
why?
Because he spoke with like a really harsh American accent whenever whenever he went into English. So he
Venomous
was
Pandas says hi. Say hi to Venomous Pandas, Judd.
hello. So
Oh,
that's all you get. So I was in this Chinese supermarket thing, and he's there talking to his colleague in like fluent Chinese.
yeah.
And then really quickly snaps his head back round to me and goes, 138, please. Like it was on a trailer, and I sort of jumped a bit and I went, "Oh, all right." And like gave him the money. I went, "Thank you." Like keep talking. And I stood there for a bit, not knowing what had happened, and then just walked out.
That's quite funny. You can always tell, can't you, when someone from a different country has sort of learnt English through like watching movies or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always interesting because like they've kind of obviously they've got an accent from where they're from, even though they're speaking English, but the bits of their English accent that they've learnt is kind of American. Often it's strange. It depends where they're from. When they're from like Mexico or somewhere, or like Russia, or even like Asia, like China and those sorts, that bit of Asia, they tend to have like an American twinge to their English. But if they're from Europe, they tend to have more of a British twinge to their English. I don't know. That is quite funny.
It's like I saw a video a while ago of like the average Japanese person seeing anime for the first time. Like obviously not being a fucking weeb, because a weeb is sort of like more of a thing over here.
Yeah. Well, they can't be posers over there, really, because a weeb's kind of like a over-the-top anime poser type person, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is just like there are a few teenagers and like a few older people and stuff. Not like normal people over in Japan who don't watch anime. And they were being shown anime for the first time, and then obviously the anime characters are given it all this Yamate, all this shit like this, and these Japanese people are watching it, and they're just saying like, why are they talking like this? What's wrong with them?
What? You're telling me they don't all talk like that? Are you kidding me?
like this, it's like some fucking fucking Japanese bitch, like getting it all day, getting a right fucking earful, and this like normal Japanese bloke's just like, Nani?
You couldn't put that in much more of a Yorkshire way. This fucking Japanese bitch is getting it an earful, and
I reckon I should narrate like an anime series or something.
oh god, I think we would be quite good on Gogglebox for that sort of reason.
Fucking attack! I'll narrate like the entire fucking Attack on Titan. This proper fat tall lad had been eating too many Yorkshire puddings and decided to storm a fucking village.
You should read books like that. You should like rewrite the entire book with a Yorkshire script and read it out like an audiobook. That'd be good.
Harry
I'd like
Potter
that.
were proper thirsting for some ginger minge.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Judd, have you got anything else then, Judd? Has anything else funny happened?
I think that's it. I think I'm out.
Okay, good. Thanks for contributing. How about this then?
pretty much it, yeah.
Recently, I've done two like I've been a big old hippie so far, like compared to what we're normally like, and I had a day where I was basically like sick of just seeing all shit on Twitter and Facebook and that's going off, and I'm like, oh fuck off. I'm just gonna like have a day where I just uninstall any social media apps that have like got a timeline or something. I kept Messenger so I could like message people directly, but like, you know, like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat and Instagram is the ones that I had and got rid of. And I was only planning on doing it for a day or so, just to have a go and do that. And I've just not put them back on for about 4 days. I just don't want to. Just don't even need to. So I'm kind of going on like an impromptu detox from all those things. Not like I'll put them on whenever I fucking feel like it. I'm not aiming for a certain amount of time, but I've just not even wanted to.
Yeah, I understand what you mean with that. Like I did that ages ago. Like when I was younger, about like 14 or 15, and I just deleted Facebook, and my mum were fucking going on at me for ages. About
Oh yeah.
She's saying, "Why have
She
you
would.
deleted Facebook? Why have you deleted it?" She started saying, "What have you done? What have you done? Why have you deleted Facebook?" And I'm like, "I've not done anything. I've just deleted Facebook. I don't want to be on it. There's just too much bullshit on it." And she's saying, like,
I
"Have
just
you
don't
been
like
sending
it."
your cock to people again? Have you been sending pictures of your cock?"
Because that
I'm
did
like,
happen at one point.
That did happen, and I'm like, no, I haven't been showing him on my cock.
Not this time, at least.
Not this time, anyway.
Jesus, you know, when I heard that you'd done that, like the time that you had done it, it was, I mean, it's kind of common thing for people to do nowadays, like as long as it's consenting adults and stuff. It wasn't really, but that sounds worse than it actually was.
Yeah, that sounds bad. I wasn't sending it to any little kids. If that, I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
was.
it wasn't like that.
Basically, I was like 13.
Yeah, Judd was young. The girl he was sending it to wasn't, but
No, but she
Didn't-
wasn't. I don't think she was off age, was she? She was like.
let's get off this topic very quickly. All I want to say is I was not involved and was quite shocked and like, fucking hell, Judd, what are you doing? So, yeah, but anyway.
I'm slaying that fucking pussy, my dude. That's what I'm doing. I'm out here getting some fucking pussy.
It's all jokes. It's all jokes. But yeah, I was very shocked. But yeah, I've been sort of like accidentally detoxing from social media, and yeah, it's great. I like it a lot. I accidentally left the TV on after I was eating out or doing something on my phone, and the news came on after. And I was like, news! Turned it off.
Yeah.
It's just all horrible. There's so much. Have you seen how much shit's going on in China and all sorts like that?
Yeah, apparently they've got a bit of bubonic plague popping off or something over there.
That's not even what I meant. Apparently, so far I've seen some news that they are chemically castrating people who aren't purebred Chinese.
Jesus fuck.
There's all sorts of stuff like that going on, and also, you know how they don't allow any apps from people other than ones that are made in their country.
Yeah.
Well, India's seen that like China's been doing a bunch of stuff that they're not happy with lately, and gone, right, no more Chinese apps allowed in India now. That's why TikTok's not allowed there anymore. And China's kicked off and be like, what? You can't ban our apps. They've been really pissed off about it. It's like, what? It's like that shocked Pikachu meme.
Yeah.
So yeah, so there's all that sort of stuff. There's obviously all the Corona stuff. There's all these like riots going off, and I've just kind of gone, no. Yeah. I'm already struggling enough with trying to get a job and things like that, and being like, working hard in that aspect. Yeah, so it's been quite nice, and I thought that I think you've done stuff like that. You've never been big into social media and that, have you?
I have. I did something like that recently when all the Black Lives Matter stuff were kicking off, and just every other post was something about some poor black lad getting his head stomped in, and I know it's,
which is awful, very bad, bad awful. Thing, bad, definitely bad. And
it was because it was so awful that it was starting to fucking get me down. So it sounds awful, but I needed to take a break from it because I go to work and it's all I hear about on news. It's all about I hear about at work, and then I get home on Facebook and it's all I see at home when I'm trying to relax as well. And it's just, I just needed to take a break from it.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, people say to it, oh, well, it's supposed to be awful. Imagine how awful it is for them. With that's kind of the whole point. I don't really care, I don't want to feel awful.
You can't phrase it like that.
Yeah, that's a bad way of phrasing it.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be awful. Imagine how bad it is for them. Yeah, well, the difference is that they're black and I'm white, so it doesn't matter.
Whoa! No. That Judd just said is no. Listen. That Judd just said is an example of what would be bad to say. Okay, right? But what I meant by that is it's like, but the thing is, yeah, I get it. It's bad. And it's awful. I don't want that to happen. And they should stop killing those black people. That's awful. Stop killing them. I hate it. But I don't want to look at that all the time.
Listen, stop it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stop killing them black folks. Stop. They're being nasty now.
It's a silly, jokey way of putting it. But the message overall is good. Fucking hell. I was trying to avoid anything like this, and we've dropped right in it. How has that happened? Look, everyone be nice to each other. No racism, no sexism, no bad.
Oi, China, fucking give it in, this silly bastard.
Jesus Christ. Another thing, Judd, speaking of being really toxic and that, guess what I did?
Go on.
I've uninstalled every single online multiplayer game on my PC. Every single one. Including Apex. I've quit them all.
Nice.
Because, mate, it was just fucking with me too much. Yeah. I'm like so much of a happier, more upbeat person having played none of that for like 2 or 3 days. It's just like, I'm just like, I was doing well on this split of Apex Ranked, and I had my first bad day on Apex Ranked where I'd played for 4 hours and only made up 22 ranked points. My aim is 200, and it's hard to explain for people who don't know, but that's really shit, only getting 22 points in 4 hours. Because up until then, it had taken me maybe an hour and a half to get 260 points, and then it was 4 hours for 20 points. So, it was a really shit day, and I just felt like fucking topping myself after that, because it was just... It felt that bad. And I was just like, oh my god, this is horrible. Why am I putting myself through this? And the thing is, I think a lot of people should have the same attitude too. I think a lot of people who play online multiplayer games for fun should just take a step back, actually think about whether it's doing any good for them, and like whether it's entertaining them. And if it's like same situation as me, just go, you know what, I'm not gonna do it anymore. It's just, guys, it's not helping anyone.
It's what I did. It's exactly what I did with Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I got so high up, and I was there to be in at Legendary, and it felt. I just thought at the start when I was rocketing up, when I'd just gone, right, this is it, this is my deck that I'm gonna get really good with, and every day it was like I've gone up 5 ranks, and I was just rocketing towards the top. It was fun, and it was really fun then. And then I got to rank 5, and it started getting hard, but it was challenging hard, and it was still fun. I was going up against I was having games, so I was going, right, he's beat me there, but I can fully respect what he just did, and that was a good deck.
Yeah,
And then I
Yeah,
got
because
to
that's
4 and
fine,
3.
isn't it? That's the difference between having a good day and a bad day. It's not losing. It's not when you start losing that pisses you off. You'll get onto it. I can tell where you're going.
Yeah. But it's just I got to rank 4 and 3, and it just gets more. It just gets a bit more bullshit. It gets a bit more bullshit, and you're just thinking, right, okay, not having as much fun now. And I got to rank 2, and I must have been
Because at that point, sorry, but at that point you're like, oh, I'm not having that much fun now. Which for a normal person would be like, oh right, stop then, because you're not having fun. That's the whole point. But the thing is, for people who play games, especially games in a ranked mode like that, you think, oh well, I'm nearly at some of the top ranks. If I can just push through a bit, I can get to them, and then
The thing is, if I would have made it to Legendary, there was a chance then that I was going to start playing against well-known people. And it could have, because Hearthstone for a little while was the biggest thing on this channel. If I could have got against someone like Firebat or Kibler or Trump or
top
anybody,
level big people with big viewer numbers on Twitch and that,
I could have done well for us channel. So there was a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot in me to go, right, let's get to Legendary. But I got to 1.
There was a good amount of incentive.
Yeah, I got to 1, and it just every single day was like I'd flip-flop between having 1 or 2 stars in rank 1 and then going back to having no stars in rank 1. I'd probably drop back to rank 2 and have to fight my way back up to rank 1. Sometimes I'd drop back down to 3, have to fight my way back up to 1. And I just thought, fuck this. Why am I doing it? And I just stopped. And I
have to admit, if we were getting viewers, if we had like 3 people who always joined the stream, always chatted fairly regularly, and that, I wouldn't have quit. And I don't think you would have either. Because
if we had a lot of people, Tessa Terrick joined because he was sort of into Hearthstone and he liked watching me play Hearthstone. But that was it. We had him, and then I think we had a Japanese girl who came in for a little bit, and that was it. We didn't have. I wasn't getting loads of people. I weren't climbing to the top, and then we started getting like loads of viewers coming in, like saying, "Yeah, go on, you can do it." Because if that was the thing, then I would have just done it as often as I could.
And I do want to say that I don't blame those people, like, because those people, like, there's people who did for a little bit but then fell off, and I don't blame those people for making us sort of lose like interest or lose a passion or something. I don't blame that. All I'm saying is that would keep us going. Like, that was a positive reason to keep doing it. And it's not like I don't want anyone to feel any sort of guilt or anything like that for it, because it's not their fault at all. But that what it does demonstrate is how nice it is to have a community around you, because it can keep you going through stuff that you don't even like doing. So yeah, it is a compliment to the people who do chat and watch and that sort of thing. But yeah, I put it this way. The other thing is, I've got other priorities in life, and this last ranked split in Apex was going to be my last attempt at it, because I was like, right, I can feel other responsibilities are starting to happen. It's my last chance. I'm never going to be able to hammer a game, and not just Apex, any game, enough to get to the top level, like master rank in Apex, ever again. So I'm going to have one last go at it. But no, kind of, because the thing is, I'm already going into those things, so I'm already having job interviews that are starting to get serious. I might be getting a job relatively soon. I've got a partner that I'm with that I don't want to be like only spending a couple hours with every other day, because I'm spending pretty much 5 hours a day playing a video game. You know, stuff like that. I've got things that are more important to think about that are starting to come. And it's kind of the reason I wanted to have a last go, but also the main thing is, I felt fucking awful, because like you were saying, you keep going up, and it's fine, and when it becomes challenging and hard, you're like, oh fuck, I lost, type of thing. It's like, fine, I'm not bothered about the actual loss itself. Isn't the thing. It's when you start losing to things that aren't fair. And I had a counter when I was playing Apex on the screen on Twitch of reasons I died, and there was like, I don't know, 200 in total reasons I died since I started doing it. And out of that 200, 8 was because I'd caused us to die, right? Which sounds quite cocky, but let me explain. 8 was because I'd caused us to die. There was about 10 because the game had fucked up. Like, either there were a glitch, or the audio was bad, or, like, I don't know, there was, it had hit them and the sound had been made, but no damage had been done to them, something like that.
Yeah.
30-odd was because of bad luck. And then half, like 50-something of them, were because the rest of my team was bad that it had matched me with, because the matchmaking was terrible. So, and the reason I say that is, those teammates, or the bad luck, or whatever, had got me killed before I'd done something bad, so that was the reason why we died. But having said that, later on in the game, I might have done something bad that have got killed, because I don't want to sound completely cocky, but do you know what I mean? When it's like... when essentially like 80% of the reasons you're dying are nothing to do with how you played, that's not good, that, is it?
No.
So it was just gambling. It was just gambling is what it was. And then the odds were like so bad the further up ranked you get, so there's just no point. I was saying to you, Hearthstone got to a point where it may as well just be a bunch of flashing lights and sounds and rolling a dice on the table and seeing if you get a good number.
Yeah. It were essentially, we could have played rock paper scissors at the start of the game and then gone up or down in rank according to that.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. They'd made decks that were just it was shit like Mechafoon, for example, where its battle cry was, if you had no cards left at all, so you couldn't have any in your hand, on the field, or in your deck, you had to be completely out of cards, then you played that card, and then that card died, you automatically won the game. So
yeah, it's so stupid.
People were making decks, like I saw Druid doing it a lot, where they'd make a deck to get that card in the hand, completely cycle through the rest of the decks, like destroy the rest of the cards that it had, empty everything out of the hand, play the Mechafoon, and then somehow make this card 0 cost in the hand, which was destroy a single minion on the board. Your opponent draws 2 cards. So then you'd use that on the Mechafoon, you'd have nothing left, and you automatically won the game. So you'd literally be locked in situations where, unless something very fucking lucky happened, or your deck was specifically counted against that deck, you lost.
Yeah.
You just
and
lost.
It's just not right. And I do want to say that you can be good enough to get over these things, but you have to play like 2,000 hours, and you have to have been gaming all your life and things like that. And I've put in like nearly, I think it's nearly 820 hours into Apex. So I was getting there. Like, if I'd have put in another like 200 hours, I might have been good enough to do it. But again, that's 200 fucking hours. That's a lot of hours. Yeah. That's like, 15 days straight of playing. Obviously, you wouldn't do it straight, but it's a lot of hours, and it's just... And there's plenty of people who do it, and I don't want to, like, sort of say make out like these people who get to these top ranks who are actually amazing. I don't want to make out like, oh, they're just the ones that have gotten lucky because it's just rolling a dice. No, they've played to such an extreme that they've overcome the bad luck, because like it's still such terrible luck for them, but they've played so much and put so many hours in and so much effort that they've overcome it. And it's just, I don't know, you have to have a certain lifestyle for that, and a certain sort of mental attitude that allows it to not affect your mental health very much. And I think for most people, they don't have that attitude, but a lot of them do put in that amount of hours. A lot of kids, especially playing Fortnite now, are getting affected by it a lot, and I don't think it's very good. So I uninstalled literally every single online multiplayer game that I've got, like Overwatch, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, anything. Hearthstone. I had Valorant, I uninstalled that as well. Just everything. I was like, I don't want to be tempted to play any of these shooter games. Because, yeah, it's shit. And I do think that potentially there needs to be more restrictions on them. Potentially. I don't like the idea of restrictions, but I don't know. I think it either needs to be...
People can't get so addicted.
I don't know, because it did feel a bit like an addiction, but now that I've not played for like a few days, I feel like I'm already fine. You know, I just think that I think especially in kids, because kids can't understand all of that. I think maybe any online multiplayer game should be something like 16 plus. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the restriction would be, but because I know how it's affected me and how I know how that could definitely affect many people, it makes me think that maybe there should be some sort of restriction. People who are smarter than me should consider it, is all I'm saying. And I think that's fine. So yeah, that's online multi. And that, having said that, if I got a job and had my own house and I didn't have a girlfriend and I didn't really have any hobbies or anything, I would probably just play Apex every evening and try to get to Master still. And I would be fine with that, and I would be happy with that. But I've got other things that I prefer. Like I've got people I like going and doing things with, and stuff like that. That's better for my mental health and that. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Judd, speaking of getting a house and a job and all that sort of thing, I wanted to ask you about houses. Do you know what a house is? Have you ever heard of one of those? You ever heard of these house things?
Someone might have mentioned it in passing, but
yeah, in I don't know where Passing is. I've not heard of this place called Passing, but I think we would do. I've got some stuff that might be interesting to with houses to talk about. It sounds very boring, but stick with us, everyone. But first off, Judd, get ready for everyone's favourite podcast segment.
Oh my god!
Everyone's favourite.
People must fucking skip off of this bit.
We're gonna look at this WikiHow article. Do you want? I've not prepared one because I thought you might like to suggest a WikiHow article for us to look at that we can just it'll be fun. It'll be funny. I promise.
How to stop chemically castrating people.
How to stop? Let me see if that's on. Chemical castration. How to stop? Oh my god!
No, there's not. No, there can't be. There simply can't.
Judd, I've got a brilliant article for you. This isn't even. We're not even going to have to make any goofs for this. How to castrate a cat.
Fuck off. No.
Hold on. I'm just having a quick look through it.
Do you think the Chinese government read this and thought, this is fucking banging? This is a right article.
Do you want how to castrate a cat, a horse, or a bull? Dude, there's one that's how to stop at a stop sign.
Those are some very different things, but... I don't know.
How to stop a masturbation addiction, how to stop vomiting. I mean, just stop would be a good.
How to just stop. How to simply cease.
How to stop swearing. Just don't swear. How to stop bleeding.
Well, no, that one's. I guess that one makes sense.
No, but it's presented like you can just go, "Oh, I'm bleeding." Just stop it. What do you want?
I feel like I don't know. I feel like a cat would be funnier. Like
castrating a cat.
How to castrate a cat. I feel like that.
Let me just have a quick look at this horse one because I've Okay. Right. No. We're gonna do the horse because the cat one is basically like take it to the vets. That's kind of the whole thing. Yeah, so, right, okay, we're going to learn how to castrate a horse.
Everyone, have your horses at the ready.
I never thought I would ever say the words, we are going to learn how to castrate a horse. Oh my lord. Okay, step 1, get your horse assessed by a veterinarian. You call the vet, he comes and looks at it and goes, yep, that's a horse.
Yep, got a ball stat.
That's a horse right there. Okay, good. Veterinarian confirms horse. Right, good.
Horse has been confirmed.
Next step, sedate the horse. Okay, good. We're not just going in. We're not just going straight in with this.
Take a folding chair to its head like it's fucking WWE. Just walk up and go boom.
It does. The thing is, it says the veterinarian will administer a cocktail of sedative, but the thing is, the title says sedate it yourself. So I'm just going to sedate it by knocking it out. I think.
Yeah, we folding chair.
Next is clean the scrotal area.
Oh.
And it's got one of, one of them dish scrubs, one of them kitchen like it's got one of them.
Just get some fucking silly bang on it.
But your horse is like, oh, no, that's a bit rough. And this step is necessary to remove as much debris and bacteria. What sort of debris? Is there a blown over house in this horse's bollocks?
And then you say to the horse, why the long face?
Why the long sack? Oh, God. Oh, no. Eject anaesthetic into the testicles.
No. There's a cock and ball joke, cock and ball torture joke to be made here.
I don't know if you can actually... I don't know if we can show this on Twitch. It's illustrations of horses' bollocks.
I don't
right.
know if we're allowed to show that.
Next! Make the incision.
I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
I can't even make... There's a funny diagram for the next one. Yo, what's going on here? Hold on, what was that? Callum78 Fortnite with a big follow. I apologise for this content that you've just come in and followed. Hi, hello to you. We're learning how to castrate a horse. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining. The exit is where you came in.
Next bit, Judd. Just pop out the testicle. Just pop him out there. Just pop him right out of there. Just get him out of there. As Asiala says, knowledge for today. Did you know moles blind themselves on purpose so that dirt wouldn't hurt their eyes while they dig? Nice.
I love it.
I'm so glad. So glad you came in and told us that. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm glad you told me that because whenever my family go out for a meal or whenever we have like sort of like a meal at the dining table,
go out to eat moles.
we play this game called the fact game where everyone has to present a fact and we go around the table and if you've heard of the fact if you've never heard the fact before you have to give 1 point and if you found it interesting, you have to give another point. So that's the fact that I'm going to use at my next family meal, that moles blind themselves on purpose.
Have you checked this, though? Is this an actual fact, or are they just...
we never fact-check it. Other thing, it doesn't matter. Callum says his eyes are going to get killed by looking at this. Don't worry, our eyes became just like moles a long time ago. We blinded ourselves.
Yeah,
so
we knew we'd be in too much pain reading this article, so we removed this article.
We metaphorically blinded ourselves to this. Anyway, next step, seal the blood vessels.
Okay, that makes sense.
Holy shit. The veterinarian will leave the emasculator in place for 1 minute.
Oh, that
or
sounds
2 minutes for mature stallions.
That sounds like the name of a robot from Robot Wars.
What a horrible name for a tool. The emasculator. That sounds like a WWE wrestler.
He's here! God. My God, it's the emasculator!
Funnily enough, Callum78 Fortnite has to go, and he's saying good luck. Thanks. Hold on. Aziel has got more facts. Did you know pandas that get enough sleep have less black fur in their eyes?
What?
Do you only have eye facts, Aziala? Do you only have facts about eyes? What's going on here? Checks for signs of hemorrhage. I mean, I just want to show you what the picture looks like.
I don't want to see this. I don't want to.
Look at these images that it shows. I mean, you can't see this on the podcast, but it's like some weird skin thing that I'm guessing is the penis trapped in like a bolt cutter. Oh, gross. That's absolutely horrible. Anyway, next step. Repeat the procedure on the other side. Good, I'm glad.
Can't just leave him one ball. Poor bastard.
Can't leave him a bit wonky, can you? Okay. Apparently, leave the incisions open. Just fucking leave him. Just don't worry about it. Just let his balls leak. Just leave that horse bleeding out of his testicles on the floor.
This is awful. I don't want to hear this
absolutely disgusting. Well, I'm glad. Holy shit! I'm glad. I'm glad you can stay, Callum, because at least now we've all learnt how to castrate a horse. I know you were desperately wanting to know that, and you've learnt it on Podcast Badly from the Games Badly channel. Look at that. Are you muted? Are you muted? Hold on. Let me check on the stream, see if we're muted. I don't think we're muted. We shouldn't be. Let me find out. I'll just check the audio. Sorry for the people on the podcast listening to this after, but you know, it's Podcast Badly. What are you gonna do about it? Stream, see if we're muted. I don't think. No, it sounds fine. Judd, chat, say something. No, I'll just check the audio. Sorry for the people on the podcast listening to this after, but you know, it's Podcast Badly. What are you gonna do about it? Stream, see if we're muted. I don't think. No, it sounds fine. Judd, chat, say something. No, I'll just check the audio. Sorry for the people on the podcast listening to this after, but you know, it's Podcast Badly. What are you gonna do about it? We're muted. I don't think. No, it sounds fine, Judd. I think we're fine. I'm pretty certain we're fine. That was some weird trippy shit that just happened. Callum, Fortnite, if you can't hear us, I think that's your end. Right, Judd. Say something.
What, funny? Sad?
Just we've
Factual?
got 10 minutes left of this podcast, and I wanted to tell you about houses. Judd, houses, right? We're growing up, aren't we?
We're going up.
We're growing up. We're growing
Oh,
up.
okay.
We're becoming adults.
I thought that was some sort of like school shooter slang that you were using. Then, are we going up? Are we doing it? I don't know.
What? What are you talking about? Look, right. So we're getting to the age, right? Essentially, where I mean, in generations that came before us. They would have moved out already by our age, because you're 21, are you now?
Yeah,
or are you
I'm
still
21,
20?
yeah.
You're 21, I'm 23, and okay, you're starting to hear us. I don't know why it's any different, but okay. So older generations than us would have probably moved out by now. They'd have like a job, kind of like an alright job, and then they would you know, have moved out and got their own place. But for our generation, it doesn't really work like that, does it? It's a lot harder to move out and get a place and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we're at the point where we are kind of getting to that anyway. We're starting to get to that sort of place. I wondered for you, a couple things. Like, there's three things that I find interesting with this. What would be your dream house for a start? Like, no matter what the cost, whatever. What would be your dream house that's sort of like doable for you? And what would be your dream? And what would like be the minimum sort of house you would settle for?
Well, to be honest, the minimal house that I'd settle for could just be a fucking tent under a bridge, as long as I knew it were going to be there every day when I came
No
back.
Wi-Fi.
And if there were a Wi-Fi box, pretty much it. Like that, I could sleep there fine. I don't need out fancy. Just, you know, give me give me a PC.
One sec, Judd. Callum, Fortnite, I'm sorry if you can't hear us. I've checked it on multiple devices. We should be fine. It's got to be on your end. Sorry, sir. Right, carry on, Judd.
Yeah, it could. Honestly, I don't really crave much in life. Just.
I don't really like life.
As long as I knew it were going to be there when I came back, like it weren't going to get stolen or destroyed. So it was some sort of impervious, invincible tent.
You're not asking for much. Only an impervious, invincible tent.
Yeah. You know, as long as it was just there at the end of the day, I could happily live in a tent, maybe a sleeping bag and a computer and some Wi-Fi, and I'm happy. I could just piss out on the street, be fine.
Good.
But my dream home.
I hope it's fine for you.
My dream home that's achievable for me, or my dream home if I had billions.
Why don't we step it up? Why don't we go for like what you would settle for, what you kind of want that's realistic, and then like your dream home.
So it's if I saved and like I went through this apprenticeship and I got onto dry lining, and then even I say dry lining.
Just move your mic a little closer to you, just a little bit.
Like, I became a dry liner, and then I was the head of a team of a dry liner. Then a pretty fucking nice house wouldn't be.
I'm talking sort of like soon, like when, like sort of
soon.
Now, like fairly soon. What sort of would you like would be ideal? Like within let's say within 3 years.
Okay, it's not gonna be amazing. Like,
Yeah.
just honestly, just somewhere to live. The main thing, honestly, it's just that the Wi-Fi's fucking good. That's the only thing that I care about. Like, they could be showing me like this gorgeous mansion, but if it's clocking in at like 10 megabytes per second, I'm gonna tell them.
Judd, that's pretty good actually. That's not too bad.
Yeah, but still, like, compared to like a shitty little rundown apartment that might have like 20 or you know something like that,
Yeah.
I'd want that.
Mm.
But it,
People underestimate that. Because the thing is, even for normal people, what do they do when they're home all night? They watch fucking Netflix, don't they? Like, you want decent Wi-Fi, don't you?
It's
Okay, Callum. Thanks for
retarded
joining.
how many people don't understand that
Join again.
streaming is
We
through
would
your
love to have you.
internet. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what do they
Like
think it
streaming TV shows and that, like Netflix and Hulu and that. Not streaming like we're doing, like just watching stuff.
is? Yeah, like it's like me fucking my grandparents have got more of an excuse because they're old, but it's like they're like, why is the internet, why is the Netflix being so bad reloading? I'm like, I've been fucking telling you for ages, your internet is dog shit. It's like, they're like, well, why would that affect Netflix? I'm like, how do you think you're watching this? Through the telly. What does the telly use? I don't know. Satellite? Not for streaming. They use the internet.
Yeah, use the internet. And I kind of get why they don't know that, but like, I've always thought this. Like, I did, I spent a while essentially teaching a lot of older people how to use technology. And, even after that, I don't find it much of an excuse, being old, to not knowing about technology. I don't find it as much of an excuse, because it's not hard to learn. Old people learn other stuff much more than that all the time. And they don't. And the other thing is, they don't have to learn a lot of it either. It's like, knowing that streaming on Netflix uses Wi-Fi or whatever, especially if they've already got it in the house, it's not hard to know, is it?
No.
So, I don't know. I don't think it's much of an excuse, especially if you're retired. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a big thing for houses that people overlook, because so many people, like, if you've got a family of 4, there's probably going to be 3 people using Netflix at once. You need some decent bandwidth. You need a lot of data each month, because movies take up, 3 or 4 gig each. If you're going to watch something like that, if you're going to binge watch a TV show every night and there's 3 people doing it in one house, you're going to be using 50 gig a month at least. So there's stuff like that people underestimate. So Wi-Fi is a big one. So what are you saying then, Judge? You don't really care? You could just live in whatever terrace house? What about like where it's located? That sort of thing.
Honestly, I don't think I'd want to be that far away from people I know. I'd be happy living in Barnsley.
Yeah,
like, just because it's near shit that I know. It's near my nerd club. It's near where all my friends live. It's it's where I've lived and it's where I know. The only other place I could think about that I'd just be like, yes, I'd want to live there is York, because like, you walk around York and it's fucking beautiful.
It's just a nice place, isn't it? What about Nottingham? Have you ever thought about Nottingham? Because it's like, there's like a lot of your stuff you're interested in with your Warhammer world and that sort of thing. It's a nice place. It's a nice city. Plus, you'd meet people there, wouldn't you?
I just think Nottingham's a bit too rich for my blood. Like, York.
Judd, York is more rich than is more posh than Nottingham.
I don't know. I'd say. I feel like
definitely
more posh.
York is definitely more. York is one of the most middle class places in our country. I think you would quite like Nottingham, but I don't mean like a specific place. I mean like, for example, I have this weird phobia with houses that it's not going to be close enough to like a town centre or where I like going drinking. Melisuki is very shocked that Judd has a usable camera and mic at the same time, and they can listen to the stream without getting deaf. That is very crazy, isn't it? Imagine Judd actually sorting himself out. Oh wait, who sorted it out for real? It's my microphone. It's my light.
It's my light. The air in the room that he's breathing. Do
you know what the biggest difference is right now? Your internet's holding up and you're not all pixely. That's kind of weird, that.
That's because the internet's been updated.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. It looks pretty good. You know what? Quality of this podcast, not too bad for once, actually.
Going up in the world, actually.
Quality of the content still sucks.
Yeah, still shit. Still dog shit.
But yeah, I don't know. So I meant more like how close it is to the town centre and things like that. Because I have a phobia of like being too far away. Like if I have to drive into the town centre, like if I have to drive for a trip into the town centre, that's kind of a problem for me, because if I want to go out drinking in the town centre and I can't walk back, like I have to take a taxi, that's really annoying to me. That's a big downside. Because at my house, where I am now, where I like to go drinking, if I was any further away from where I like to go drinking, from where I live now, it would be too far to walk, really. So it would have to be at least as close to where I like to go drinking than this house is. So there's stuff like that to consider for me. So like when my mum or like my girlfriend or something looks at houses and they're kind of a bit further out and not really near a town centre or a city centre that much, I'm kind of like, But I also sort of think that's maybe something I could do with getting over, because it's just, I don't know, it's just something that on my criteria. What do you think about that?
I guess I get it. Like, I understand. I believe that, like, maybe with my job I'd have enough money to be able to get taxis back and stuff, but
yeah, well, most people would, but it's still a big inconvenience for me. I don't like that.
Yeah. If I wanted to fucking, like, if there were a nerd shop or something, and I just wanted to, instead of ordering something online, I wanted to go pick it up, I'd have to get in the car, or I'd have to get in a bus or a taxi or whatever to get there. It's like, oh, fuck that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, when you can drive, obviously that helps a lot, but I don't know. I don't like the idea of having to drive, you know? I like the option to be able to walk, even if it's like a 15, 20-minute walk, even if it's a longer walk. I like to be able to, because if it's like 45-minute walk, it's like too much, isn't it, for going out like that. So that's a big thing for me. Yeah, I don't know. Another thing that I am quite picky with, but that I think is reasonable, is how loud I can be, because I'm quite loud with a lot of things I do. I do like streaming, I stay up late, I'm a fairly loud person, I do music, you know, all of this sort of thing. So to me, the idea of living in a terraced house or a flat is like, ugh, I'm a bit scared of that. I might get noise complaints, you know, I don't want to be a bother in that sort of way. So I think, for me, I would like to be at least semi-detached.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm quite autistic. I make a lot of noise, so I think it'd be a good call getting somewhere that, you know, we're not going to get noise complaints.
Yeah, especially if you want like a little party or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, for me, really, reasonable requests would be like good Wi-Fi, like somewhere where I'm not going to bother people by making too much noise, and it being close to a town centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent, like, reasonable criteria. What about dream houses? Like, what's your sort of dream house?
Now, it's weird this, because a bit ago it would have been, I don't know, like a penthouse or something in like in a main city, like, you know, a really nice swanky penthouse, not like a mansion or something, because I wouldn't know what to fucking do with this end, because it's just simply too big. But like a penthouse. But now, honestly,
really nice pinto bean.
Yeah. Now, honestly, it's like, because I've moved so much, like, in my life, we used to move, like, we used to move house like once every 2 years or something.
Same
like that.
area, but loads of different houses, weren't it?
I must have lived in at least 12 or 13 different houses now. It's ridiculous. And
to compare to someone who's sort of more relatively normal, I've lived in maybe, I think technically it's 3, but I only really remember 2. Yeah. I think a lot of people maybe live in 4-ish on average, don't they, by our age?
Yeah. And I've definitely done like 13. Like, easily.
You've done a lot.
And I've never ever had anywhere to honestly call home. I never have. Because I always just go, oh, new place. How long is this gonna last?
Yeah.
And it's quite upsetting, actually. My little brother, was in the car not too long ago. He was driving. We all got very scared. No, he was he was in the back a bit ago, and it was I got told this. I wasn't there, but Mum was basically driving with my little brother and my little sister to their new house because they're living with my mum's boyfriend now, Wayne, and they were going to this new house. And Dalton turned to Manny and he said, "How long do you think we're going to live in this one for?"
Yeah.
And it's like, fucking hell, it's hard, and I've never had anywhere to call home, so now I sort of just put my head down anywhere, honestly, and I'll just go to sleep, and I don't really get into somewhere and just think, oh yeah, this is home. I don't do that. So with me, I'd not spend money on one house. I could honestly see myself traveling a lot if I had a lot of money. Like,
I thought you were going to go the opposite. I thought you were going to sort of say, I would like somewhere where I can just properly put down some roots and settle a bit better.
No, because I don't.
Because you're not used to it.
I'm not used to it. I think I'd like to travel places. There's a lot of things I'd like to see if I had the money. Like weirdly enough, I want to go to like the fucking like Asia, where like all the Buddhist monks and shit go. I want to see shit like that, just because I think it'd be cool. I want to see if I could spend a few days in like their temples, and then I'd have enough money to just go right. See you, fucking Buddhists. I'm off to Germany now. I'm gonna go get pissed with some German lasses.
In that case, do you think you would really like, one of them big cool camper vans, or just like a really cool sort of camper van that you could travel about in, or would you prefer to dart about between really nice hotels? Is that sort of your ideal living situation?
I'd say dart between really nice hotels, but I'd always have somewhere to go back to in England. But it wouldn't be a massive place. It'd just be like a normal house, a normal house somewhere I can actually sit down and just be comfortable and relaxing. But if I had all that money to have a brilliant house, I wouldn't spend it on a brilliant house. I'd spend it on traveling.
You know what? Weirdly, I agree, because I used to think I would love like a really big house where I could have loads of friends and we'd all have like gaming setups there and we could all do all sorts. And a really big modern house with like a cool swimming pool. We'd have a bar and like a hangout space, a movie theatre and all that sort of thing. I'm not really bothered anymore. I'd rather have like a camper van. I'd rather travel more and have adventures. And don't get me wrong, I would like a good, nice house that was of a decent size, maybe like a 4-bedroom house or something, so that the small amount of good friends I have could stay over. But I think, and I would like a nice lads sort of basement hangout area type of thing with a bar and that, to come back to. That I would spend loads of time in. I probably wouldn't travel as much as even you're talking about, but yeah, I think that, and I would want a room with my own really like setup that I love for making music, playing games, streaming, all that sort of thing. And I would want another one of those for if someone else came and did that. I'd want a few in a room, but not to the extent that I used to, like as my ideal thing. So it's weird how growing up has done that to us. Look how sophisticated we are, Judd. Yeah. Look, after all them burps and farts, look how sophisticated we are. Yeah. Oh, God, I am very much enjoying the amount of quality we've managed to get out of you. Now that Melisuki reminded me, I can't believe it. Go back, if you're listening to this podcast, just go back, 6 episodes or so? Go back and listen to one of those. There was one of them where Judd recorded on a freaking Kindle. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Judd recorded on a literal book. And now, look how far we've come. He's using an OK webcam and an OK microphone with a light. And we've bought him some clothes. And look at that. Look at that light.
Yeah.
You've not, you didn't get a light. I put a light in front of you.
I got a light.
So, yeah, that's a podcast. I think that's been a pretty good podcast, actually. I think that's been one of our more nice, casual listening podcasts. How about that?
Apart from when we were talking about how to demasculate a horse.
Oh yeah. Apart from when we mentioned the emasculator.
Yeah.
I will have nightmares about that later.
Should we look at? I want to have a look at what one of them looks like. Emasculator.
Okay, well we'll do that on stream at twitch.tv/gamesbadly, which we will continue after the podcast. If you want to watch us stream there, you can. Also, there's a YouTube channel, Games Badly, where you can catch this podcast, the video version. It's on Spotify and Apple Music as well. I'm going to end this podcast to the horrific sounds of Judd not enjoying this instrument. So, thanks everyone for listening or watching. Goodbye.